Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you all are enjoying your week. A lot of good stuff coming up this weekend, guys. John Wick Chapter 3 is going to be in theaters. The all gung fu movie with Keanu Reeves. Getting some good early reviews. I am probably going to go check it out on Tuesday, not this weekend, on Tuesday, discount night for movies. So I will talk about that next week. I believe Rocket Man, the Taron Egerton Elton John film, also comes out this weekend. I want to see that as well, but got a lot more stuff to talk about, so we're going to get to it in just a sec. Guys, of course, one thing I'm going to start plugging is my Patreon page. I've been doing the show for a while now, and I've enjoyed it. I do it because I like to talk about movies and TV and stuff like this. And it's my passion. It's what I love to do. And the first reason I started the show is because so many people would always ask me questions about, how I feel about this show or this movie. Because, like I said, people know that I like this stuff. So I decided just to make this little podcast just to talk about it. So people that I don't get to see on a daily basis anymore, I don't have to answer the same questions over and over again. So with that, they can just come on here, they can know my feelings, and of course, they can fire back on social media, and we can have a discussion about it, so to speak. So that's, why I started this and why I love doing it. Recently, my schedule's changed a little bit at work. For extra cash, I used to drive Lyft. Technically, I still do, but I haven't done it in a long time, actually, mainly because with my schedule change, I want to spend more time with my family. So I haven't done it, so I haven't earned extra cash, and that's how I go see movies, is what it is. That's how I go actually to the movies. So here's what I'm proposing. If you like what I do, if you enjoy the show, head over to Patreon, give me $1. $1 a month is all I'm asking for. If you don't do it, that's fine, not a problem. Continue to enjoy and listen and talk about this stuff, but $1, all I'm asking for. And that would help me out. That would help me towards, paying to go see movies and books and all the other stuff that I enjoy to talk about on this show. If you don't, that's fine. That's cool. Totally understandable. Hope you enjoy the show. Hope you are still listening because that's what I want to do. So anyway, guys, now we got that out of the way. Let's get to today's stories. Like I said, Tuesday, I went to the movies and I went and saw Pokemon Detective Pikachu, the film. Ryan Reynolds kind of starring in this, even though he's not in much of the film. Really, it's Justice Smith who is the main guy, based off the worldwide phenomenon known as Pokemon. I've never been a Pokemon fan. I was, really kind of a little older when Pokemon came along. I know people that are a few years younger than me that are really into Pokemon. It was like that early 90s to mid 90s, I think, is when Pokemon started to come around, and it just missed me, really, is what it is. So I'm not a big Pokemon guy. Really, also, I just don't get the point of it. Pocket monsters or the ball, whatever, that's fine. But the movie was coming out. It's in my wheelhouse of sci-fi and fantasy genre, and you know what? The trailers made it look fun, so I wanted to go check it out. So, what did I think about it? It was okay. I think if I was actually an actual Pokemon fan, I would have enjoyed it more because you had all these Pokemon creatures that I know people who are fans of the franchise know them, and they would get more excited about it. I didn't really get excited about anything because it was like, okay, these are creatures, they do stuff, blah, 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 whatever, And then also the fact that it was, skewed a little younger. I think if I was like around 12 maybe, I think I would have enjoyed it a little better too, but it wasn't horrible. It was okay. It was just one of those films that really didn't appeal to me because I'm not a big fan of the franchise. Also, I'm a little older, so to speak. I'm starting to get gray hairs here and there. So I think I would have enjoyed it, just not for me. And if you enjoyed it, of course, that's awesome. Kudos to you. I will talk a little spoiler here, guys, at the end. One thing that probably is an issue I had with the film. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil the ending a little bit for you, okay? So at the end, you come to find out that the reason Tim, Justice Smith's character, can talk to Pikachu is because he's actually his dad that he's been looking for the whole film. His dad, who he's been estranged with for many years and has not had a good relationship with him. Turns out that's why he could talk to Pikachu. He's been talking to basically his dad the entire film. And when Pikachu and his dad are separated again, well, of course, it's voiced by Ryan Reynolds, so Ryan Reynolds is his dad. But Ryan Reynolds and Justice Smith are less than 20 years apart in age. And maybe it's just me because I've been watching Ryan Reynolds for many years. He doesn't seem that old, or let alone old enough to have a son who's in his like early 20s, you know? So that was probably the most unbelievable thing in my eyes when it came to the film. Maybe a little nitpicky, perhaps, but I just looked at it and I'm like, I don't buy it. I don't buy that Ryan Reynolds has a son who's, this old, I guess is what it was. And it bothered me a little bit, but not that much. So, but anyway, Detective Pikachu, it was okay. I'm probably not ever going to see it again. I don't see a reason to ever see it again. It just didn't appeal to me. If it did work for you, awesome. That's great. I love it when people enjoy films. But you can fire back, of course, on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you think about Detective Pikachu. Are you going to go see John Wick 3 this weekend? Or is there something else you're excited to see? Let me know. All right, guys. Next up on the agenda, we got a little story that broke yesterday in regards to the CW and their deal with Netflix. So, of course, the CW shows like Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Black Lightning, Legends of Tomorrow, these are, superhero shows that have found a home on Netflix, and they actually do pretty well on there. And we just heard that according to Deadline, Netflix and CW will not be renewing their contracts after this spring. Now, honestly, it is no surprise. Warner Brothers, who produces these shows, not only do they have their own superhero DC streaming service in DC Universe, they're also developing a separate streaming service for their other Warner Brothers properties. So you're seeing this. I mean, the world of streaming is changing. Netflix was still the big kahuna. They were the first ones out of the gate, the first one to make it big. You got Hulu, and of course you got Amazon, kind of the big three. Those are the ones that I have, actually. Hulu, of course, the story came out that Disney, that when they had the Fox deal, gained 66%, there I spit it out, of Hulu, the majority shareholders, and Comcast Universal had the other 30% of it or so. Well, a story came out that by 2024, Disney will own all of Hulu. They're going to buy it from Comcast Universal. But don't worry about them because word has it, they're looking to set up their own streaming shop as well. Each studio with their own little thing. And that's what Netflix mainly does. Yes, they've been making their own shows for the last couple of years and making a lot more of them. But majority of what people still watch is stuff that is produced by other networks, other studios. So these shows and these companies that are going to take their stuff off of Netflix, reports are that it's going to hurt them. I get it. When Disney leaves, they're going to take their Star Wars, they're going to take their Marvel, they're going to take their Disney animated series, take it all off, and that could hurt Netflix. Now let's take Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers takes all their stuff back. Universal, Comcast, The Office, they take all that off. Slowly chipping away at the stuff that people truly watch on Netflix. Now, they have their other original content, They have Orange is the New Black and Stranger Things and several other shows that are really popular, understandably, that would compel people to keep their Netflix account. I get it. I don't know how it's all going to shake down, guys. We got several years, though, before I think it actually does go down. I think we'll have a better idea of the fate of Netflix after this fall when Disney Plus comes out and we see exactly what they take away from Netflix and what goes down there. But getting back to the CW shows, you got the new series coming out, Batwoman. Now, they've already said that show is definitely not going to go to Netflix. They're shopping around for several streaming services. My guess is that after the series runs, it's probably going to pop up on the DC Universe or, of course, Warner Brothers. I think DC Universe would be a better spot for it. I love the fact that Krypton, the sci-fi show, you can now watch season 1 on there. Season 2 is coming out soon. My hope is that I don't have sci-fi that you can watch, episodes of Krypton and not have to wait till the end of the season. I doubt it'll happen that way. I think the whole point they put Krypton on there to get people who haven't watched Krypton excited for season 2 and possibly start watching it on sci-fi. Now, to be honest, I haven't watched the Arrowverse shows in a couple months, honestly. It was a while ago I made the decision that instead of trying to watch them on the CW app and have, 10 minutes of commercials, that was not cool with me. In a world where, we sign up for Hulu and we can do commercial-less stuff. Netflix, of course, doesn't have commercials. Amazon doesn't have commercials. The extra 10 minutes per show didn't work for me. So I decided to wait until they come to Netflix because a week after their season finales, they're contracted to come to Netflix. Black Lightning finished their season early, and a week later was on Netflix, to where I went out and I finished the rest of the season on Netflix. Now, I think it was this week, Arrow and Flash, and I don't know if Supergirl did, they just had their season finales. So next week, they should be on Netflix. So next week, I can watch them, finish out the season, commercial free, wasting less of my time. And that's what I've decided to do. Arrow, of course, having its last season. Next season, we'll see what happens to Flash and Supergirl and really all those shows. Arrow was the first. It's kind of the flagship station or the flagship show of the whole universe. How it works without it, I don't know, guys. We'll just have to wait and see. But, of course, it's not going to be on Netflix. I think from what I read, they're still going to keep the previous seasons on there. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to all go down. I think they probably will keep it on for a while. And then, like I said, I think at some point Warner Brothers is going to take them back. Hopefully put them up on the DC Universe because that's, I think, where they belong. And I want more content on there. But, yeah. If you guys have heard about this, have any feelings about it, of course, fire back on the social media groups or Gmail account. Let me know what you think about the Arrowverse in general or, any of the shows. The Batwoman, are you excited for that, of course? Let's discuss it. Okay, guys, and the last thing I'm going to talk about today, new trailer or first trailer came out for the new DC animated movie Batman Hush. Now, this one falls in the same universe as all the other DC animated shows we've been getting, such as The Death of Superman, Justice League Dark, you got Justice League vs. Teen Titans, Batman, Son of Batman, Batman Bad Blood, all those movies that have come out within the last few years that have gone directly to video or streaming, with a few exceptions. The latest one, it was Justice League vs. the Fatal Five. That wasn't in the same universe, but this one is the fourth kind of Batman film in the universe. Like I said, you start off with the Son of Batman, then Batman versus Robin, then Batman Bad Blood. This is Batman Hush, based off the comic book storyline by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. You see in the trailer, you got Batman, and he's facing off against an enemy known as Hush, who is kind of controlling his other rogues gallery, such as Joker, Poison Ivy, who controlled Superman. That's a very famous Batman cover, of course. But yeah, he's dealing with Hush, and he has to find out who Hush is. And anyone who's read the storyline knows who Hush is. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'll wait for you to watch the movie or go back and read the original material. Don't want to spoil it. But anyway, I am excited for this because I have really been enjoying the animated shared universe that DC and Warner Brothers Animation has been putting out. This one going to be directed by Justin Copeland, who really hasn't directed anything. He's been storyboard artist on a lot of these films, though, so he's been in the family for a while. Jay Olivia, I know, has done quite a bit of them. He's kind of the main guy over there at DC Animation, I guess, the one that's most trusted, in my opinion. I don't see his name really over this, but I'm sure he's like executive producing or something along those lines. The voice cast, of course, is great. Jason O'Mara has been doing Batman for all these films, and yes, you have Kevin Conroy as the classic Batman voice, but Jason O'Mara, I really enjoy him. I like what he does with that. Jerry O'Connell voices Superman. He's okay. Tim Daly's still my Superman, in my opinion. Rainn Wilson from The Office does Lex Luthor. You got Rebecca Romijn, who is Jerry O'Connell's wife, of course, is Lois Lane. And then Sean Mayer, most known from Firefly, is back as Nightwing. Along with that, you got Jennifer Morrison doing Catwoman. And you got Peyton List as Poison Ivy, and you got Vanessa Williams as Amanda Waller. But overall, like I said, just a really good voice cast as these movies have continued to do great. I mean, I prefer them honestly over the current, DC live action we get in theaters. I've enjoyed these films a lot more than what Warner Brothers has been showing us on the big screen. I would say if you haven't checked any of them out, technically the first one is Flashpoint Paradox, but you can start with Justice League War, or you can just watch the Batman ones. The three Batman ones, probably one of my favorite Batman films, actually. The nice little trilogy you have there, and hopefully this one will continue with the same quality. I have no doubt it will. But if you haven't watched any of the DC animated stuff, you can look online. There are lists online to go back and watch, or you can ask me too. I'd be glad to share my thoughts on those and expand even more. So, of course, hit me up on the Gmail account or social media, and I'll be glad to talk and share my thoughts on this some more, guys. So, that's it for me today. I know it's a little smaller show than what I've been doing. Like I said, I haven't rambled on about Game of Thrones, but fear not, of course, because the series finale is this Sunday. So next week I will be back to talk about that. I'm sure a lot of you will have your feelings about that, much like a lot of people had feelings about this last week's episode. Maybe I can get a guest star on. So if you're in the Austin area, you listen to the show, and you want to talk some Game of Thrones, of course, I'll be glad to work out a schedule to where we can come in, talk Game of Thrones, and then, of course, post it up for next week's show. But that's it, guys. Go out, enjoy your weekend, let me know what you're doing, and until next time, may the Force be with us all.